should have a look at Steve's then. Let's see Steve's midsection. There we go. So he's...
Hey!
There we go. Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. My name is Joe. This is Off the Bar. That's Ronaldo Brown. That is Adam McCullough. But it's not just us. We've got Jay Motti and Stephen Howson's predictions as well. Because today, they're not under the table, Adam. No. Today is the big pre-season prediction
I hope
episode.
you're looking good because...
Who's finishing where?
This is getting clipped up.
This is getting clipped.
Screenshots
nice.
Everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Context removed.
Tasty.
Yeah.
Last season, my picking Arsenal to be 8th, I think did the rounds in the little Arsenal chats a little bit because every so often someone would tweet something, someone would mention me, and then an Arsenal fan would reply going, "What? This is the guy who said Arsenal would finish 8th." I got that maybe 65
When we
times
saw
last
Miles, he immediately wanted to chat about to you.
We'd
about
never
that.
met before, and he came straight over to me and said, "I've got a bone to pick with you."
Yeah, that's Miles though. He's
That's
just
Miles,
like that.
anyway.
He's just like that.
Miles off it.
Get your thoughts in the comments as well. Get your 1 to 20s basically. Where's everyone going to finish? Should we just start? I think what we should do is we'll go through person by person and we'll slowly reveal our tables.
Ooh.
So first of all, Adam, let's start with you. I'd like your 20 to 14. Talk me through that.
So I've gone Southampton to get relegated at the bottom of the league.
Yeah.
I actually think Leicester, you'll look at their season and think, oh, they could have stayed up. But if they get this points deduction coming through, I think it could be a big problemo for them. So I've got Leicester down there. And I think Brentford's time's up.
Yeah. Do you?
I think Ivan Toney's going to leave. Ivan?
Either or.
No, you said
Either or.
You said yeah to both then.
Yeah, either or.
either
That's
or.
why I said either or.
Ivan, yeah.
We prefer.
Ivan Toney, if he leaves as well, especially, I think he'll leave towards the back end of the window. I think Brentford will struggle a little bit without him. So I've gone Southampton, Leicester City and Brentford to get relegated. I think Forest will be there or thereabout, but with someone like Morgan Gibbs-White, now if he gets injured, big problemo.
That's
problemo.
2 on the problemo counter already.
Yeah, it is
Double
a big,
problemos.
It is a big problemo.
I think you can use it. That's 3. I think you can do it 10 times.
yeah. So I've got Forest to just kind of not get dragged in, to get dragged into a relegation battle, but to just be safe.
Stay safe.
And then I think Bournemouth will have a relatively good season. And I've got.
So is that relatively good? 60?
Yeah, they're not. I don't think they'll go down.
Right.
I don't think they'll spend much time in the bottom 3. Reasonable, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they're always liable to change a manager.
Yeah.
They've lost Dominic Solanke. They're going to have to replace those goals. So I think it could be the start of the season. I think could take a while for them to get going, but I think they will. And they look like a decent outfit. Ipswich are probably the shock of this. I think Ipswich are going to be right up there.
15th. I know it's not European spots, but that's pretty good for a newly promoted side. Is that just the Kieran McKenna factor? What's
a lot of it is the Kieran McKenna factor. Maybe I kind of did this with Burnley last year and I was madly wrong. I just think Ipswich are going to have loads of goals in them. I think Portman Road could be decent for them as well.
Yeah. One
of those tight grounds. You've seen how Luton will help. That was your fault.
They didn't see my face there.
They didn't see your face, no.
Nice and tight.
McKenna loves it nice and tight at Portman Road. So yeah, I think the ground could help them. I think they'll shock a few, maybe in the opening weekend of the season as well.
Yeah.
When they play Liverpool.
Very nice.
And then Brighton, I think, to kind of have a bad season by their standards, but still stay up.
Yeah.
Well, Brighton, surely they've got to run out of luck eventually.
Yeah. They can't. You can't just keep selling all your best players and get away with it forever, replacing them with like.
But then it could be a big
signings.
Evan Ferguson season.
It needs to be because I think otherwise his reputation's he's in one of them years.
He's injured way too much.
Yeah,
Evan
he is.
Ferguson.
He's got that sort of big, heavy style to him, hasn't he? Like.
Well, eventually you should settle.
Yeah, he should. What do you make of that, Ronnie?
Do you know what? The only one that I wouldn't necessarily disagree with, without obviously giving away my own.
Yeah.
Is I think Brentford and Bournemouth will be better than that.
Yeah, I think.
Is there anyone that should be down there that isn't down there?
I mean, Everton have been down there last few seasons, but obviously.
But without that, I know they might get another
Everton.
one, but without that points deduction, they would have been like 11th.
Yeah. To be honest, mine is similar to this. I think we'll obviously get to it in a minute, but I think the teams in and around there are roughly. I think it's going to be something like, unless there's a big shock somewhere.
And this isn't a prediction. This is a spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah, of course. Ours are predictions. Adams is correct.
I think Everton will be down there.
Yeah. Well, should we move on to Steve's then? Let's get Steve's. So this is Steve's bottom 7.
Steve's bottom.
This is Steve's bottom. So you've got Bournemouth there in 20th, Leicester, Southampton, similar to yours.
He's got Bournemouth.
I told you, insane, isn't it?
Bournemouth, dead. Bournemouth just absolutely shit the bed. And then same as you with Forest, he's gone for Wolves to be awful again, like he did last season. And then again, Ipswich
Wolves
15.
awful last season?
No, he predicted them to be awful, and they
just
were
lost
actually quite
Pedro
good.
now.
I predicted him to go down last season.
Yeah, I think he
Because
did.
remember the start of the season, we had that whole Lopetegui thing. He was kind of like, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
It didn't seem good for them.
No, and yet they did all right. Ipswich in 15th as well. I've got a feeling these might. I think I've put them in a similar spot, but everyone thinks they'll do all right, which probably means they'll be rock bottom.
Right,
they won't win a
yeah.
game for 8 games, and then Kieran McKenna's 6-year deal or whatever it is going to start to look a bit silly. Then Brentford in 14th. I think that's pretty sort of, other than Bournemouth, you can almost like roll the dice, and that's about
Wolves
right.
is too low on that.
Yeah,
as well.
I
I
agree.
really do think Wolves are too low on that.
What do you think?
I think Wolves will be, without giving more, I think they're kind of like fighting in that mid-table bit to
I
kind
agree.
of sneak into the bottom of the top half.
Love that. That's
Do
a
you know
little
what I mean?
slot.
I think the difference maker is their manager. Gary O'Neill's a top gaffer.
Yeah,
so
he's good.
that's why I don't think Wolves will be that low.
You know a bit about him, don't you? Didn't he? Haven't you got mates who've played under him, or was he? Is it you who's got a relationship with him?
Nah, not Gary O'Neill.
Who am I thinking of? Who was like the assistant when you were somewhere? Who was that?
The assistant?
Someone was like an assistant coach.
Maresca.
Steve Cooper.
Steve Cooper. That was it.
Say that again, Ethan.
Yeah, Steve Cooper was my under 14s manager.
That was it. Sorry, yeah. I'm confusing Gary O'Neill with Steve Cooper. I knew he was one of the England
Cooper's
hopefuls.
Leicester.
He's Leicester now. Yeah.
They've got a better manager than Chelsea. Did it?
Yeah. They lost their manager to Chelsea, and their new one's better than
There's
him.
no way Maresca is still there at the end of the year.
We'll see.
Usually the case at Chelsea
We'll get
anyway.
into the predictions. Right, let's move on to yours then, Ronaldo. Let's see what you've got bottom 7. Everton in there. Look at that. You've gone, and I don't want to say fallen for it because it can happen, but you've gone for the classic 3 up, 3 down.
That happened for the last season for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
Yes,
So the back-to-backs, mad.
It never usually happens. So that's when I did have the 3 that came up in the bottom initially. I wanted to swap. Basically, before I found out about Leicester City potentially having that points deduction, I thought Leicester was going to finish 17th, and I thought Forest will go down.
Yeah.
But because of the points deduction, I put Leicester down there.
Yeah.
I think Ipswich will fare a little bit better. I think Leicester are quite restricted in the transfer market as well. I think Southampton will be rock bottom, and above them I've got Fulham, Everton. I think I'm looking at their squad. I don't think it's strong enough.
No.
To
But
do
they're a
that
bit
well.
more settled,
Fulham?
though. I think Fulham down there's a tasty choice.
That is mental.
I think Fulham 16th isn't that far off
You think
it.
Marco Silva's going to leave?
Nah, Michael Silva's a decent gaffer, but I think the teams that I've got above them, apart from the likes of Everton and Brentford, that you can flip, are stronger teams than them.
And they've lost Paulinho as well.
Yeah, and I
Fulham,
think
hold on a minute. Fulham have just signed Emile Smith-Rowe,
Yeah.
signed that Brazilian fella, didn't they? They're going to possibly get someone like Scott McTominay. Whilst we don't rate Scott McTominay as a Man United player, like, great player for Fulham.
I can't see him getting. I know they're not relegated, but
I don't think Fulham are as strong as a lot of the teams that I've got 13th and above. And
They might get Joachim Anderson as well.
yeah.
but I can only go off what's happening now. That's the thing when you do predictions before the transfer markets close, because a lot of things can change before then, and 1 or 2 transfers can swing things. But I think Fulham 16th isn't too
That's the
far
problem
off
with
it.
doing the predictions before
Yeah.
all the games have happened, isn't it? Because if I do them at the end of the season personally, we can know exactly.
I think that was a major false equivalence, by the way.
It was.
Do you know what I mean?
It was.
Yeah,
It was a false equivalence for humorous effect, Ronaldo.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm more than happy to admit that. Right then, let's have a look at Jay's next. His bottom 7. Here we go then. Southampton, Leicester, Forest, Brentford, West Ham in 16th is low. That is low. Bournemouth and Wolves as well.
West Ham, I think.
Do you think?
He's had a bad one with West Ham there, I think. He's got Brentford low, though, like me.
Yeah, he's not a fan.
I do think Brentford are going to be really low. I think they're going to be so low that they go down. So he's got them in a relegation battle.
Very Donald Trump phrase in there, by the way.
Yeah.
Brentford very low, so low they're going to go down. The worst we've ever seen from Brentford. I don't think they're going to be that bad.
I do.
Who have Brentford actually signed, though? I can't think of anyone they've signed, to be fair.
They don't need to. They've got him with the long hair as the manager, haven't they?
Wouldn't be surprised if
Frank.
Brentford. You know who looks like he'd suit a Brentford shirt?
Scott McTominay. Yeah, I could see that. I think he'd be good for them. Playing under those lights. You know what I mean?
Come and take him.
The bees. Ronaldo, what do you make of that bottom 7?
I think the West Ham 16th is insanity.
That's insanity.
Insanity.
That is
Absolutely.
And not
insanity.
having Ipswich down in there is crazy.
Also, where has he got Ipswich if Ipswich aren't here?
Yeah. Because I honestly think I've got him in 15th. I'll spoil that. I think that we might have him too high, not being relegated, let alone, not even in the bottom 7.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll have to see. Right, let's get on to my bottom 7 then. I think Forest are done. They've stayed up by the skin of their teeth.
There's no way Forest finished below Southampton.
Maybe not, but I just think Forest might have an utter collapse this year. I do
think it's possible they go, but I think Nuno is a decent manager for that level. They've got some very good players. They've got good players. You look at these teams and you think where the goals coming from, and they've got goals in their team.
They have, but I think
Awani had a really good season last season. Anthony Elanga, Gibbs White,
Chris Wood even.
Chris Wood.
He gets 5 goals a year, but they're
crucial goals.
2
goals in it.
Yeah,
they're usually against West Brom or someone battling down there at the bottom.
And they'll get a hat trick against him. Obviously anything can happen, but I felt like the last couple of years, Forest have only not gone down because there's been really bad teams.
We're all saying Southampton and Leicester then.
Yeah,
which I think it's too early for Southampton. But the thing that those 2 clubs have is they feel like Premier League teams.
That's true.
So going away there, they will mentally be like, we can stay up here, we can do this.
Even though I've got Leicester in 19th, I feel like they're the most likely to stay up.
Just signed Zaha as well,
of Leicester and Southampton.
Or they're going to sign Zaha.
So why do you...
He kept Palace up on his own, by the way.
Yeah. So why do you think, obviously, Anna mentioned how last season was the first time in a while that the 3 promoted teams got relegated.
Yeah.
So why do you think that's more likely to happen more and more now? Is it because
is it more?
I don't think it is. I think
it's
a
money gap?
one-off. Yeah, there's that.
But Leicester won the FA Cup 4 years ago. They can't be that far off money. Like, they're not in the same financial situation as like Ipswich.
But you've got a lot of teams that, especially when 3 go down, that came up. Those Premier League teams are just getting better now, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're an extra year into their recruitment. They can keep improving, etc. You're always helped when you go up. That there's still a few, maybe one of those teams that went up last year is still there. Like these teams have been hoping Luton's about.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And if we're honest, really, I mean, obviously I've put it the way I have, but really, Ipswich, 13 months ago, were a League One team. They're the ones who should be finishing 20th, really. Are we getting a bit carried away with the McKenna hype? Ipswich. That's largely a League One squad.
I've got Ipswich going down because I think they'll make it difficult for teams at Portman Road occasionally. I think they might start okay when they're all excited and the crowd's up for it. But I think in the end, the quality is going to tell. And I think they'll probably go on a barren run second half of the season and drop down, just like Luton did last season.
I could see it happening. The only thing is, I'm thinking more of a Sheffield United situation where they got promoted back to back, didn't they, or thereabouts? I don't know if it was back to back. I think it was back to back under Wilder, and they finished something like that, 8th, 9th. I think they just finished outside Europe, so I don't think they'll do that well, but that's what I'm thinking. Adam, give me that kind of mid-table up to the European spots. These are, for me, the least interesting of all the spots. So
I've got Everton in 13th, which I think they'll have a good season. I think that's even with a potential points deduction. Wolves, Fulham, I've got there. Just rounding off the bottom end of the table. Yeah. It's mad, when I was thinking of the top 6, 7, I never thought of Chelsea once.
Really?
No, not once. Like, you look at their team and they've got loads of talent. I think Moises Caicedo was good for them last season, despite the fact it cost loads of money. I think he'll settle in and do well. They've on paper they've got some very good players, but on paper they've also got about 50 players. How do you put that into an 11? What 11 is it? Is Maresca around in a few months? I think it's just going to be a year of upheaval. I think this is the year the Chelsea fans turn on Clear Lake and all those guys. That's what's happening there. I think it'll be another bad one for Chelsea. Wouldn't even be surprised to see Fulham finished above them.
Chelsea's insane, isn't it? How can you spend as much as they've spent and still don't know what your best 11 is?
Because they've got 50 players.
No, but it's also
hard to pick
none of it
11 out
looks
of that.
balanced. I don't know. But the thing is, I think quality will tell where they'll probably still finish high, because they finished 6th last season whilst being awful. And I think that's just because I think spending that much is just going to be games where the quality you bought will end up telling. But because if you look at their squad, they should be top 4 at least, innit? Really. But so anything under that's an underachievement. But I think they will underachieve anyway. I think I've got them quite low as well. But
I've got Newcastle there because I think I think Eddie Howe's lost Amanda Stavely. He's lost a bit of that support there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he either walks or something happens.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be.
Maybe the
He's not
England
gonna be
job
there
could be on
forever,
his
is he?
horizon. Like
No.
something could go down there. I wouldn't be surprised if one of their big boys got picked off just before the end of the window.
I think Bruno Gomes
as well.
People talking about.
And I think I like Palace under Glasner, although it was a brief time, and they've brought Elise in. Sorry, they've lost Elise.
I feel like that Palace one I'm looking at, I'm thinking they could easily be scrapping for relegation come Christmas, depending on how that goes. They had a new manager bounce, but will they be able to push
he was
that?
doing good
Serious.
things.
I think the recruitment's been okay as well in this summer.
Shall we have a look at Steve's then? Let's see Steve's mid-section. I never thought I'd say that sentence. There we go. So he's...
Hey!
There we go.
There it is.
When we clip this bit up, can we put Stephen Howson's face just slowly zoom in toward the screen with a shit-eating smile on it?
Yeah,
please,
we
so
have
all the Liverpool
we
fans
have to
can
put
have a go at
Steve's
it.
face on his
Yeah.
once the full table's there, for the people at home that clip this kind of thing up, we need Steve's face looking a bit stupid on the screen. Same with James.
Let's just jump straight to
But that makes
Liverpool.
it seem like it's a joke, though. And
No, Steve means it.
He's dead serious about that.
You were with him when he talked through
Yeah,
this. So
yeah.
what's Steve
I think there'll be a drop-off from
Liverpool
Liverpool.
8th.
He just thinks they're gonna obviously plummet under Slot because he's not Klopp and they've not signed anyone. So he just thinks there's going to be some mad drop off with them having Champions League football as well. So
I can see it. To be fair, I can see his reasoning. I know that's
that's
obviously
Steve's
a big
reasoning,
drop, but they've also finished outside the top 4 in the last 2 seasons. It's not like they're this title-winning machine and he's saying, "Oh, well, they're going from 1st to 8th." They finished 5th the year before last. So that I don't think that's completely mad. Do you, Adam?
I think there could be a drop off. I don't think it'll be that far. They've still got some very good players in there, but you never know, If shit hits the fan well and truly for Mr. Arne Slot, it could be that. It could be down there. You've got Palace quite high as well.
Yeah, he likes Palace as well.
Everton 10th.
I'm not buying it.
Is there a chance that Everton finish just 2 spots behind Liverpool?
Yes.
I don't think so.
When was the last time that happened? When they finished in the Champions League groups?
Well, they finished
stages?
4th, didn't they? And then Everton, and then Liverpool won the Champions League 5th and took their spot.
No, England got 5 spots then. Because if you
Sure.
remember, Pierluigi Collina had done over Everton. Then they played Villarreal in a qualifier, and they got done over at Goodison Park.
Yeah.
By the way, do you know with Liverpool? Do you know the things with these predictions is obviously you end up talking about that team, saying whether they'll drop off, but you got to think about the teams around
Who's
them.
doing well around
like
them.
whether the teams around them will actually be better or worse as well, because then it can balance off.
Well, let's
That's
get
the
yours
thing.
then.
I think Fulham's quite low for him there.
Oh, go on.
I think Brighton will have a drop off. Go on, Ronnie.
All right,
Look at
so
this.
what is mine? I've gone for Bournemouth 13th. I think Bournemouth will be decent. They're quite good under Iraola, and they've got defensively they might not look the best, but they've got all these players like Kluivert and Semenyo, and I think they've just recouped Dominic Solanke with Evan Nilsson from Porto, with a bit of a marquee signing up front.
Yep.
And they've got like Trevor. They've got players where they are pretty dangerous, and they've got a decent gaffer as well. So I think they'll be competent, and I think they looked pretty solid last season. So I think they'll finish 13th. I've got Wolves 12th, and that's even before they sold Neto. Whether they replace him or not, it might not matter, because as Adam's saying, he was rarely ever fit anyway.
Yeah.
And I think Gary O'Neill's just a top-class manager, one of the better managers in the league. So
He's,
I think
he's one of those managers who, I think, quality-wise, is excellent, but he's going to struggle to get a big job because he's such an unknown name. He's such a small name by comparison to some of these other managers. If he'd done it elsewhere first, or even if he'd won the league with Celtic or something, he could get a top 6 job. But to fight your way from Bournemouth to Wolves up to a Liverpool, Spurs, United or whatever, he's done an amazing job, I think, just to do what he has, but he's always going to struggle to take that jump that I think.
I know it doesn't always matter as well. I've heard they've played pretty well in pre-season as well, and I think they will replace Pedro Neto in the transfer market before the window closes.
Yeah.
I got Brighton 11th because even though they've lost their best players, I think they've lost Pascal Gross, who's one of their better players as well. I think he went to Dortmund, but they've signed Matt Swifer, they've signed Minter from Newcastle. I know Ethan's upset about that. He's looked like a bit of a baller, and I think the gaffer they've brought in did really well at his previous club. I think they'll be typical Brighton and finish 11th. I think they'll be pretty strong.
Yep.
And I've got Palace 10th under Glasgow. They look pretty solid. I think they've recouped the money for Elise pretty decently as well. And I think if Mateta is still firing the way he has been and they keep Eze, I think they can finish mid-table. And again, it's another team that probably isn't finished in the transfer market. I've got West Ham 9th, what people might disagree with. I know they've got new gaffer now, Lopetegui. They've got Kudus. I think they've signed.
They've had a really good summer, West Ham.
Summer,
you know?
yeah.
Really good. Like John Clare Todibo has gone a bit under the radar with them. He was linked with United.
Kilman.
With loads of big clubs. Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
I think we would have signed Todibo if it weren't for the FFP stuff. Or like how, the legalities around us signing a player from the same club.
I think with all the things going on, especially like with City and that, I think they've probably just gone, look, we can get Lenny Oro and delete and
let's not try and go through some loopholes here. Right, should we move on to Jay's then? Oh, sorry.
Just on Newcastle, look, typical. I think that's probably the best they can finish.
Fucking hell, wait, go back. Put Jay's back on.
Yeah.
Put Jay's back on. Ipswich 9th. He's gone full Sheffield United under Chris Wilder, like I just said a minute ago, hasn't he? He's gone for it.
What's the highest the promoted team's finished, by the way?
Well, Forest won the league in
Sheffield
the 80s.
United. I mean,
in the Premier League era.
Oh, Premier League era.
From Sheffield
United? Yeah, maybe Sheffield United. Didn't Wolves finish like 10th once when they came up as well? But yeah, it's you're looking at about that. That's astonishing, isn't it?
Their main striker is Liam Delap. I don't know, man.
I wish Jim was here to talk us through this.
It's a team full of Championship players. I'm not sure.
I think it's a team full of League One players, to be honest. To be fair, he's gone with the hype, hasn't he? I respect that. He likes Kieran McKenna. And if he was here now, he'd tell us Kieran McKenna's the best manager in the league. He should have been the United manager. Back him. Yeah. What is it? Fifth?
Leeds.
Forest finished third in 94-95.
Wow. And Newcastle did third in 93-94.
Well, Ipswich have previous, don't they?
Yeah.
2000, 2001, they finished 5th. Fair play.
Yeah, there you go. So it wouldn't even be, the top 7 or 8 best ever promoted team finishers. I don't know what everyone's going on about. So yeah, Ipswich in 9th.
That Sheffield United season must have been the second season in the league.
Why?
Because it's not on that list that we've just seen. So.
Oh, maybe they finished 10th or something in the end then. But I'm sure it was the first year. Anyway, let's move on to my middle section then. There we go. I've gone Brighton a bit lower.
Similar to me.
I think they're going to struggle, personally, Brighton. I think you can't just keep
struggle
selling all your best players. No, but 14th is, I think when
for their
2 years ago we were looking at them becoming a European team, weren't we? Like, can they get
top
Europa
10
Conference?
staple?
Yeah, they got the Europa Conference, didn't they? Can they be a top 10 staple? I think they're going to struggle. I think Everton will do all right. I think another year under Dyche, they've got that sort of new stadium looming as well.
On Brighton, last season had European football.
Yeah.
They don't have Europe this season.
Yeah.
Will that help them?
I think it might. They had a few injuries, didn't they? But it's just one of them, innit? I think their era of being this, like, one of the best teams outside the top 6 on their day, I can't see it lasting forever. You can't just keep selling all your best players. Sometimes there's a bit of a lag to it. We saw it with Southampton before. We've seen it with Swansea even at times, like that Swansea team. I think with Brighton, eventually you keep selling all your best players, you just run out.
They've spent the money though.
They have, but not really. They've not gone. I don't think they've replaced Caicedo. I don't think they've replaced.
Is Matoma going to have a good season this season?
I don't think he's that good. I think Matoma's massively overrated.
Nah, he's good still.
He was injured last season.
He's technically good, but he's not. I don't know. I think there was points where people were saying he was better than Rashford, or he's one of the best wingers in the league.
We got to ignore that though.
I think Matoma is overrated. I think he's a good winger who could get you 8 goals, 6 assists in the league.
That's better than good though. In the league,
I don't think it's better
for a team like Brighton.
For a winger as well.
I don't think it's better than good. I think that's good. I think he is good. I think he's overrated.
Like that.
Yeah. He's not good.
I don't think Matoma was overrated. I think he's a decent player. They did replace Caicedo now with that Mats Wafer though.
Yeah,
depends if he's as good.
Yeah. And then I think West Ham will do well. I think Lopetegui is a good manager. I think Moyes has left a team there that is used to winning games a bit more than they ever have in recent years. So I think they'll be able to continue that. And I think Newcastle will step it back up a bit as well. I know 8th isn't that high, but I think they'll be close.
Where did Newcastle finish last season? 7th.
Were they 7th?
So you think they'll step it back up and get into 8th?
See, in my head they didn't. But also, no offence, United aren't doing what they did last year.
I also think it's going to be a more difficult campaign this year.
Yeah. I think I like Newcastle, but I just think, I don't know. I think they'll do okay, but they're not finishing ahead of United again this season. So immediately they're down to 8th. There you go. Adam, give me your 7-3, and then we'll reveal your top 2 in the end. No United on there. Look at that. West Ham is 7th as well.
I think West Ham.
That's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout.
I think West Ham are going to be class this year. Really, really do.
Jesse Lingard on loan vibes.
Lopetegui's got something to prove in the league after what happened at Wolves last time around. They've made some real good business. Kudus is there an extra year as well. I think West Ham will have a good season this season.
Paqueta banned yet, or what? Is he?
What is going on?
I think he's escaping.
He might lose his whole career over that.
I think he's escaping it.
It's mental, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Surely, I don't.
What is he doing?
Well, I don't know the ins and outs of what's gone on with him.
I
It
know.
feels like that's harsh.
Do you think? I don't. But it's not just betting on himself. He's betting on and like fouling people. He's hurting people and cheating, doing it. It's one thing saying, "I reckon I'm going to score today." There's another thing saying, "I'm going to get a yellow card and fucking fly through someone to definitely get booked." That's like endangering opposition players.
Is that proven?
And I mean, there's literally an island called Paqueta Island with shitloads of bets on yellow cards on the days he got booked.
He bought the island?
No, that's why his surname is Paqueta, because he's from Paqueta Island.
Is that like off the coast of
I think
Brazil?
it's off the coast of Brazil, yeah.
Alright, fair enough.
And like there was just loads of bets on him to get booked in this game, this game, this game, and this game.
How can he actually prove that though?
What?
They could just say it's coincidence.
Well, they could, but then he runs over to someone and just kicks him for no reason. I mean, we'll see. But I think if Tonali got, what was it, a year ban basically for just having a bit of a gamble. He's literally betting on himself to hurt opposition players and doing it.
These things take ages, so he might end up playing anyway. But I think that Paqueta is their best player, so it's like it can adjust the maximum.
But I think without him, they've got a strong team.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
still strong.
Especially when Declan Rice left, they improved that midfield massively, man, and they brought some big players in there. Ward-Prowse, Alvarez, Kudu. Like I think they were stronger without. Obviously, Declan Rice is massive for them, but I thought they improved their team without.
They signed some Brazilian young one kid as well, some 19-year-old as well. And they've got a good summer.
Another team
Spurs
there.
in 6th.
Yeah. Go through.
Liverpool 5th. I think Villa will keep their spot in the top 4.
Do you? I'm surprised.
I agree.
Unai Emery effect.
Really?
I agree.
Unai Emery effect.
No.
I also think Spurs, Liverpool, there'll be some form of drop off there.
Yeah.
Look, like people keep thinking Liverpool are just going to be fine. Now maybe I'm just hoping that they're not. Right, and I'm hoping that they fall off. But at the same time, replacing Klopp's huge. Yeah, so I think West Ham will have a good season. I think they've made some great signings, and they look quite strong. Tadibo, Wan-Bissaka, etc. Spurs, I think, will have a little bit of a drop-off. Can't see Ange's whole shtick kind of being the one. They haven't really improved much this summer as well. I know they bought Archie Gray, who's a big signing, Dominic Solanke. I feel like Dominic Solanke was at the perfect place for him. Of course, a player's not going to reject a move to a bigger club, but I just thought, I think Bournemouth's a level for Solanke. I don't think you're a top 6 player, really. I don't know. I just can't see it. And I do think Liverpool will have a drop-off. I really do think Liverpool will have a drop-off. You can't just replace Klopp like that. And all of those players in that team, there's some of them there that I don't think they're as good as they were. I don't think they will be as good as they were without Jurgen Klopp.
No.
I think Jurgen Klopp was squeezing everything out of that squad. You know, the way when you see the way they've been acting in the transfer market, and stuff like that, I think Klopp knew what was going on, and I think Klopp got out of there before it was too late.
Yeah,
I really do. Yeah.
It's not going to work, is it? What do we do here? Look at him. Dusty, stopper.
That needs to make the final edit.
That has to be in there.
That is funny.
Villa in 4th as well. Do you think they're going to stay that high?
I think Villa will stay that high. I think they've lost Douglas Luiz, but I think Onana could be a good signing for them.
Yeah.
Diaby, maybe they'll miss him off the bench a little bit, but I think Unai Emery's better than most managers in the league.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Unai Emery will ensure that they manage the Champions League well with the league. I think they'll be all right.
And then Arsenal drop down to 3rd.
Arsenal dropped to 3rd.
Yeah.
Leaving a gap there for...
I think the pressure's on them this year to deliver a trophy.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe because of that, they're going to have to juggle all the competitions a little bit more. Because there's no guarantee you winning the league.
Yeah. They did
there's no guarantee
you
winning the Champions League.
No.
You kind of felt like they were just kind of, maybe the competitions weren't as important for them last year. And I think there will be this year, and you're going to have to win something.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to have to play stronger squads in all the cups. Because if he's there, and they won the FA Cup, but then, 4 years without a trophy? I think you're going to struggle there. I agree that there might be a drop-off from Arsenal. Let's have a look at Steve's sort of top 6-ish without the top 2 then, if we move on. See there, Newcastle, Villa,
Chelsea
Spurs,
4th.
Chelsea 4th, Manchester United in 3rd.
Does he like Maresca then?
I don't know what he's thinking.
Steve's thing with Chelsea is he thinks they're a shit show like everyone else, but he thinks they've just got too many good players in a 38 league season for that not to tell eventually. Yeah. So like,
I don't think
do you know what I mean? That's what he says. He thinks they've got like too many good players.
I don't think Chelsea finish above Liverpool.
Yeah, I see. That is tough, but you never know because they're a bit more. I don't know. I think they're used to having rotation. They're used to new managers coming in and out. I know obviously a lot of these players haven't been there for that, but Liverpool have been like a fixed unit for nearly a decade almost. Yeah. Bringing a new manager in, I think, will be a bigger turmoil for them than it might be for anyone else. But United in 3rd. I think that's pretty optimistic to say we finished 8th last season, isn't it? Ronaldo.
My table.
There you go.
I've gone for United 4th, and just about, I think it'll be a fight to the end again for top 4 with the likes of Villa, maybe Chelsea and Spurs. I think it'll be close between the 4 of them. I've got Chelsea above Spurs, which people might disagree with, but I'm leaning towards. I think Chelsea, particularly at the start of the season, similar. They'll have a poor, rough stretch, but I think that when they start to figure stuff out a little bit more towards the last stages of the season, or like maybe the last 20 games or so, I think they'll find themselves, because there's way too much quality in the team to not do better than 6th, in my opinion. Yeah. So I think Spurs. They've got Dominic Solanke, they've got a few youngsters in it like Bergwall, but they've got Archie Gray. But I think the tactics that obviously Ange plays with is very boom or bust. And I think 7th is well ended up.
They need a big season from Kulusevski this year, I think.
Yeah,
he's a massive player for them, but he's just injured a lot.
He's injured a lot, and I think the best run he had was when he was on loan. Was it Christmas to the end of the season? He looked really good, and then I think since then, or whenever he came in at Christmas, didn't he? Whether it was a loan or not, I think it was. And since then, for me, he's been underwhelming. Whenever I watch him play, I don't fear him. I don't think defenders fear him particularly. He's good and he'll put up decent numbers and he's consistent. But I think if you want him to be like the starting winger for a top team, I think he needs to do more than he has.
The way they play, they concede too many chances. Yeah, I think too many of their games are shootouts. The tactics. I think 7th is pretty much. I think Spurs can have a pretty decent season performance-wise and finish 7th. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because I think the teams above them, I think, might have a little bit more than them. And I've not gone for the drop-off with Liverpool, as you've seen.
Yeah, you think they'll do?
I think Liverpool stay put again.
Do you think it's a title race for them, or just finishing 3rd?
I think just finishing 3rd. I think they might be a little closer than it being a miles off, but I think there'll still be a bit of separation between them and the top 2. So I'm in full agreement. I think Liverpool still have a good enough team, and I think Slot's looked okay enough where I don't think United, Villa, Chelsea or Spurs will close the gap on them. Yeah. Also, because obviously a lot of people are considering about whether Liverpool drop off or not. I think Liverpool can drop off a little bit from last season and still finish 3rd. That's my thing.
I like that.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't think that's ridiculous to say. So I get that. Let's have a look at Jay's then.
I think 4th. I think 4th is. Whether we get top 4 or not is dependent on which we should do. We do sign that midfielder though, because I tell people all the time that United's actual squad, if you look at it, there's more than enough ability in there to finish top 4. Yeah. And I think last season we massively underachieved. We had a lot of injuries, and I think if you get the most out of even the squad United just have now, I think we should be finishing
easily.
4th.
We were comfortable.
If we have 2 of Lissandro, Yoro, and De Ligt fit for most of the season, I know I say that with one of them being out for 3 months as we
already,
speak. But if we have 2 of those 3 fit for most of the season, I think we're all right.
I completely agree.
It's how we manage.
And if we have all 3 of them fit for, I think we begin to see Lissandro used as a left back.
You know what?
Do you manage Europa League?
I would even say if we have 2 of and stick Maguire on that list, fit for for all of the season, or most of the season, will be all right. I think Maguire and De Ligt, or Maguire and Martinez, or or the people you've mentioned, I think that'll get us top 4 as well, personally.
I don't feel the same way.
I think it'll be tight though. I think between Manchester United, Villa, Chelsea, and Spurs, it'll be tight between us. And I think United have to be at their best to get the 4th place though for me. But I'm being optimistic.
Right then, let's have a look at Jay's 7-3 next then. So he's got Chelsea 7th, Spurs 6th, Liverpool 5th, Manchester United 4th, Villa 3rd. Villa have done even better than last season as far as Jay's concerned. Ronnie?
With Villa, I don't see him dropping off. I just think they've got a great gaffer, and people are talking about, they've got Europe this season, they've got Champions League, and how will they balance that? They were in Europe last season playing on Thursday nights. I know it's Conference League and it's a little bit different, but their team is actually very strong and it is very deep. If you look at Aston Villa's squad list, they've got literally 23 first-team players, all of a relative same level. I think they can rotate and adjust the team accordingly. And they were in Europe last season and they managed to manage it. So I think they'll be able to do it again. And I don't think Villa will drop off nearly as much as people are anticipating. So I think they can finish top 4, especially because the likes of us, Spurs, Chelsea, who are going to be challenging them, we're not 100% sure what we're going to get from these teams anyway. Do you know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah, and he's obviously predicting Liverpool to drop off, Spurs to drop off a bit, Chelsea to sort of carry on doing what they're doing, and he's giving United a bit of a boost up to 4th. I think all of us as United fans are hoping that we're going to get the United from the first year of Ten Hag.
We're obviously optimistic about United and pessimistic about everyone else.
Of course, so that's where Villa sort of fits in, I think, with everyone. On to mine then, and I think Chelsea are going to do it better. I've got Villa in 7th. I can't see them getting top 4 back-to-back. It's like Newcastle last season for me.
They're better than Newcastle.
I'm not saying they're not.
Better manager, better team.
But I just
better depth as well.
Bigger club.
And Newcastle got obliterated last season with injuries.
Yeah, fair enough. I just don't think they're going to do it again, personally. I like them, but it's also been 18 months of them being that good. I think they're going to have a dip. Yeah, I just think they're going to have a dip, Aston Villa.
Will the other teams around them have enough of a uptick?
Yeah, Chelsea don't finish above Villa.
I think they do. I think Chelsea will do a lot better next season. I know 6 isn't particularly high, but I think they'll do better than
Chelsea
they have.
will be one in Emery at Christmas.
Yeah, maybe. And then I've gone Spurs 5th. I do think they'll do all right. I know they play sort of kamikaze football, but they usually have better players than the team they're playing against, so
that's what you bank on.
It tends to work out. Liverpool, I think they'll do okay, but I don't think it's going to be a massive drop-off or like a title challenge. I think it'll just be actually, Slot did all right this year, didn't he? We can go again next year, and then they'll finish 4th again next year as well. And then Arsenal in 3rd, which, the top 2 are still unwritten, aren't they? Because Arsenal, I think it's really difficult to keep up the momentum and the energy and the sort of mental work that it takes to... What did they win last season? They got like 88 points or something last season, 2 points behind City, whatever it was. I think it's really hard to keep that up year after year after year and not win anything. I think they'll have a little dip next season.
The only thing with Arsenal last season is they, compared to most other teams, they barely had any injuries.
Yeah, well, 2 years in a row they barely had any injuries. Other than Gabriel Jesus, no one gets injured for him.
And they try and skew the statistic, Arsenal fans as well. They said, we had Timber out for the whole season. But outside of that, their first 11 was pretty much a mainstay for 99% of the season compared to the teams around him. But I don't think Arsenal...
Is he injured again?
Timber?
I'm not sure.
Sure, he's a big player. He's
a
big difference to him if he's fit.
He is fit. I don't think Arsenal would drop off though, to be honest with you, because the thing with Arsenal is they have the best defence in the league, and I think that massively helps you compared to the other teams. I think they're the best defensive team.
That was until though.
Yeah.
Lissandro met Mathis.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, let's get to your top 2, shall we?
Oh, he's got...
What's 21 is coming? What's coming?
Fun fact though.
Oh, here we go.
I'm not sure if you've heard, there's a big old court case going on. The big daddy of a court case going on, yeah. And I think Man United will be in 2nd. And then Man City get hit with a little point deduction, which sees Manchester United as champions.
Go on, son. Go on. Get in. So 21 is coming, even though you've got a 2nd.
Coming. We're going to be 2nd.
Brilliant.
That's why it's so good, because no pressure is going to be on us.
Yeah.
And we're just going to be like, oh my fuck, we've won the league. Can you believe that, guys? We've just won the league.
We've just won the league. Bang. Just like that. Right, let's have a look at Steve's. What's he saying? Top 2? Wow, Arsenal to win the league.
Don't forget, we have to put a picture of Steve looking deadly serious.
That's his full one. So put a picture of Steve in here.
He's got Arsenal winning the league.
Arsenal winning the league. City, a 5 in a row is hard. Come on.
Yeah, but when you got 115 charges in a row, it makes it easier, doesn't it?
It does help a little bit when you're just cheating the whole time. Arsenal winning the league, Ronnie? Stuff for nightmares for you, that?
Yeah, it's so City, really.
Can anyone see Arsenal win the league?
Do you know what it is?
Imagine it.
I think it won't be a surprise if they did. I think it'll be tight. Just like last season, it'll be tight between them two, in my opinion.
Well, should we get onto yours then? Because obviously, I think 2 teams. You've gone Arsenal second.
I think City are going to pip Arsenal again, but it will go down to the last few games again.
Yeah.
As I said, I think Arsenal will get away. Arsenal haven't really signed anyone of note. They got Calafiori, who's just another defender. I think Arsenal will be helped by the fact they've got the best defence in the league.
Yeah.
I think,
they're looking at that Marino, aren't they?
Looking at Marino.
Mikel Marino.
But if Arsenal was able to get like a game-changing forward, I think they
like
could,
an Ivan Toney, would you put him in that bracket?
Or even like more than that. I think they could pip City, because City haven't actually improved this summer as well. They've lost Alvarez.
Mm-hmm.
They've just lost Oscar Bob, who was meant to break out for them.
Yep.
He just broke his leg. I don't know if Haaland might have a little bit of a dip eventually as well.
Yeah.
De Bruyne's a year older. Bernardo Silva's a year older. But their team still is very strong. They haven't really got a backup for Rodri as well, City.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I just think they'll find a way in the market in the next 2 weeks, but they just have this kind of mental obstacle that other teams have got to get over as well. And I think they'll pip Arsenal just about again. And I think it's just because Arsenal haven't strengthened as much as I thought they would in the window. But between them two, it's going to be really tight.
Let's have a look at Jay's then, top 2. There you go. He's gone the same as you. Arsenal second, City first. I spoke to him, he said he thinks, similar to you, it's going to be almost a replica of the last couple of years of Arsenal pushing them, but City just squeaking it. I mean, I get it. Is it a bit of an easy pick from you, Ronaldo? A little bit, maybe?
It's a bit of an easy pick. I just couldn't get myself to put Arsenal top, to be honest, because I hate them that much. But I just think they haven't got that difference maker.
Yeah. Right, let's have a look at mine then. There is top, United second, and then there is no top. City would have finished top, but they get relegated 3/4 of the way through the season. As Adam would say, ipso facto, 21 is coming. I think United are going to do really well this season. I actually do. I think there are a multitude of reasons. I think there's momentum on our side. I think we've got a good squad. I think bringing in these young players who've got a bit more to fight for, a bit more to prove, I think we're going to do a lot better than we have. I think Arsenal are going to slip off a little bit. I think something's going to happen. They brought these charges forward by a month. Something's happening this season.
For the Villa one, so what do you reckon makes us 5 places better than Villa?
Well, it'd be in the same way that, every other year except last year we finished above Aston Villa.
But not about that. I mean, currently, I'm not talking.
Okay.
Because in them times,
I think we've got a much better starting 11 than they have. I believe that. I think our players are better. I think that last season we saw a massively underperforming Manchester United team. I think if we perform to our level, we finished third. We finished second in recent seasons as well. I know obviously the squad is changing and revolving, but we're a team capable of finishing third and second. I think Villa, the best they could do is third.
I think us
at
finishing
their very,
above,
very best. I think we can finish above them.
I think finishing above Arsenal's hopeful, man.
It is hopeful, but that's where we get into. Maybe I'm being slightly biased, but I think Arsenal are going to dip. I can't imagine them having another 85-point season. It takes a lot out of you mentally to get that close,
you know what happens
and
when
fail.
United and Arsenal go for the league.
Yeah, exactly. So United finish second, City get relegated halfway through the season, bang, we're lifting the trophy on 79 points. The lowest points tally in recent memory. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Right, can we get all of everyone's tables on the screen then? There you go. If you get your little screenshots going there. I think, who do you think there? Obviously you're going to pick your own. Whose is the maddest and whose is the most kind of yeah, I get that. I get what you're saying there.
I think the maddest is it's got to be Steel J.
I think Ronnie's is probably closest to what it's going to be.
Do you? You like his better than your own? Now you've seen it.
Well, I mean, apart from the fact there's a little rat who didn't put United at the top.
Yeah. Cheeky that.
I think Ronnie's is close. The Chelsea one for me, I don't know, maybe he's going to be right, but I just feel like Chelsea ain't going to be there or thereabout. There's too much going on there.
Yeah,
There's
I
too-
agree with
there's
Steve
too
on
much
that.
going
I think
on.
they're going to do better. I don't think they'll be top 4, but I think they're going to improve. They've got, like you said, Ronnie, they've got too many good players. They've got more good players than I think all of the teams below them on my list.
I think, if you
Yeah.
get points deducted for, like, if let's say you put someone to finish first and they finish third, so you lose 2 points.
Yeah,
I think Ronnie would lose the least points at the end. of the
yeah, I can see that because there's the least mad choices there.
Yeah.
Like Jay put in Ipswich 9, or me saying City. Gonna
He's
get
already lost
relegated.
12 points there.
Yeah, exactly. Steve put in Chelsea 4th. What's your maddest one, Adam?
Chelsea 10th is the only. I think Chelsea.
I think
10th.
Chelsea 10's about right.
I think that's the only one of yours that's mad though.
I think Brentford
yours
getting relegated is a little bit mad. Not really mad, but
I think the time's coming, man. That knocks
yeah.
there.
I think Palace 8th is mad. I'm going to stand by that. They're not
Thomas
having
Frank.
the season everyone thinks they are.
Good, decent gaffer.
Palace 8's mad.
I think it is. I think they've had a little new
So
manager
Palace are
bounce,
12th,
and everyone
10th,
thinks they're going to be
9th.
one of the best teams in the league.
Me and Steve got Palace around the same.
Yeah, I think that's mad. I think it's too high. For me, they
I think Newcastle are going to have a not as good as they were last year.
Interesting.
And the thing is, we've got these now in it, and then watch so much change in the transfer window with some of these teams. And
Yeah,
then
exactly. Yeah, when City signed 3 players in the last 2 weeks,
Can
all
see
of
the
a sudden-
comments already.
None of that matters though.
No, this is the prediction right now because City getting relegated, so it doesn't even.
You know what's the
matter.
funniest thing about predictions is when people get arsy about it and upset and pissy in the comments or on Twitter. How can they get angry about something they don't know what's happened yet?
It's just,
Do you know what I mean?
It's as the
That's
season
the
goes
weird
on
part,
and it gets
innit?
clipped up and it gets shown to
Yeah.
you week after week after week, and you were wrong.
People
That's
start
when it's
fuming.
good.
Why have you predicted that? Why have you predicted that?
Yeah, it's just
That's
the problem
never
with
happened.
United losing 4-0 against Crystal Palace during the
Yeah,
season.
exactly.
Something pulled up the table.
Yeah.
Right, that's going to be all from us. Thank you very much for watching. Get your predictions in the comments. Have we just gone mad? What's the maddest thing on there? I think Ipswich in 9th is pretty mad. But let us know in the comments. Thank you, Adam. Thank you,
Thank you,
Ronaldo.
lads.
Thank you for watching at home. We'll see you in a bit.